So hello and welcome to a few Mixologist, the place on the internet thingy where we have pretty little to lose, to be honest. Case in point is here, this is a 40 DCOE 35 Weber carb. As you can see, it's not in the greatest can you hear that? Yeah, it's not in the greatest condition ever. It's got a little rust and that kind of stuff around here, but here's the thing: when you purchase these carbs at kind of a core price, you're gonna have tons of actually quite usable parts that are thrown in the deal. So let me show you a bit closer what I'm on about. So we've got a pair of auxiliary venturis already thrown into the deal. We've got a couple of chokes. They're there already. Let's take them out. Might as well. So we got the top of the carb. This is always a good spare to have. It seems like the pump discharge present. Again, this is always good, and we have a shaft which we can restore by replating, and this unit here. So actually, do you know what? I think we can't lose for winning on this one, and there is a bit of a surprise on this, because I happen to have another 40 DCOE 35 in bits, and the aim of this episode, I guess, is going to be, would it be possible to build a couple of these, so a matched pair, with all the just bits of junk I got lying around. So stay tuned and we'll see if we can do that. But in the meantime, I think what we need to do is just kind of get this unit, tear it down, and start the cleaning process, obviously. Okay, now I know this is a little bit weird what I've got here, but it will become clear in a minute. What I need to do now in this kind of Weber DCOE project is to repaint the trumpets, because I have several actually, several lengths, and all of them, what happened is that they were very pitted and I treated them with kind of a vapor rust. But now I need to make sure that I kind of paint them, convert the rust, and just give them some color. And for that, and here's where this unit comes in, because I am going to be using this product, which is Hammerite Direct to Rust paint. Now, this isn't, first of all, this isn't a sponsorship. This isn't they haven't paid me for this. I bought this unit with my own money. Yeah, I just need to clarify that. But the reason why this is here is because this is my test piece of this paint, of Hammerite Direct Rust paint. So let me give you a story of this. This is just like a metal ramp for a car. I painted this 4 years ago. Yeah, it was in a complete right state. It was like, it had like surface rust through. I just cleaned it up a bit, painted it not very well, and I left it outside, taking zero care of it for 4 years. So it was exposed to kind of the sun, the winter, freezing, rain, humidity, all of it. And still, look at the condition that it's in. Obviously, it's not in pristine condition, but given the fact that it was outside for 4 years, it's actually pretty good. So that's what I was wanting to show you. That's what I use this product, because I have proof that it actually works. Can you imagine what it's like if you get this thing indoors? If I would have kept this thing indoors and kind of out of the humidity and the sunlight and everything, it would have been in much better condition than this anyway. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that and clarify why I use certain things. Okay, so before I start putting the shaft together, I need to show you a very important detail that you need to bear in mind when you try and do this with DCOE carbs, and it's the kind of orientation of the throttle shaft, which you need to get right in order to assemble it properly. So let me show you a bit closer what I mean. If you look inside here, what you're gonna need is you're going to be needing this assembly there, and therefore the throttle plate will have to go. Obviously, imagine that your throttle plate is going kind of inside there and in here. So, but the thing is that the throttle shaft has to go in this position, because if you're trying to put it like so, it wouldn't work with the position of the accelerator pump, the actuator here, this arm. So it's always very important when you are kind of mocking it up that you're setting up the throttle shaft like this, in this position, and not like so. So this is something that you always have to bear in mind when you are kind of assembling these units. Okay, so time for some updates now, and a technical distinction. So the update is obviously the trumpets have been painted with the direct rust paint, and actually they look now, you know, pretty decent. Moreover, it's more the correction, the protection from further corrosion, but you know, they look really good, which is important as well, to look the part. Now, let me see if you can see it here. So basically in DCOEs you have got like two different solutions, if you want, for the bearings. So you've got these bearings that are not sealed, and you've got a sealed bearing. Yeah, so as you can see here, I've gone with sealed bearings. I tend to always put sealed bearings. Why? Because the bearings that are not sealed, they still need to be sealed with a different solution. So you've got your open bearing here, and you got this kind of dust cover that goes on top, and you got this spring and this there. So that is your kind of like bearing system, and this top goes there. Now if you have sealed bearings, you don't need to use you don't need to use this, and I'm not going to use it, in fact, but just I wanted to show you the difference between the two types. So kind of some further updates. As you can see, I've started putting some of the bits in here. These are for the chokes. I've got also the accelerator pump kind of discharge balls. What I need to do is I need to put the discharge, the accelerator pump discharge, or bleed back, as I call it, a bleed back valve in there. But other than that, we are getting close to start, you know, slamming the carb back together. One of the things that is important when setting the float height of DCOE carbs is that the float doesn't have to be like this. Yeah, so you can see there is a like a ball there. Yeah, so that's the way, that's how it won't work. It needs to be like so, with the float touching the top of the needle and seat, but only touching it, not depressing it like that. So once it's there, what you do is you get a caliper and you measure your 7.5 mil, and you can see there that with the gasket is 7.5 mil. So this is the right measurement, and basically the full travel, what you do is you measure 15 mil between here and here, and that gives you the right adjustment for the floats. Okay, I think I've got to the end of this project for the time being, and now well, I'm going to show you first, you know, the condition of the item, but I also going to reflect on a question that I asked at the beginning of the episode, whether I was going to be able to make two of them, and the answer is unfortunately no, because I've got kind of a few parts missing of this. So just for you to remind you, I had this is a DCOE 35. This is another DCOE 35 that I have kind of in stock. But what happened? I used this carb as a kind of parts kind of to raid some parts off. So there's lots of things that are complete. So I've got a full float. I've got the top. But what I'm missing is the shafts and the throttle plates, and I'm missing also one of the auxiliary venturis and the trumpets of the right length, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make 2 carbs on this particular occasion, but at least I've made one absolutely kind of bang on to spec and back to original. So I'll show you what I've done. This is the unit in all of its glory. As you can see here, kind of trumpets. Kind of one of the things that I had to do was put this length trumpet, so this tube has to protrude ever so slightly. But if I went with this length, the tube would have gone out that much further, and that wasn't very good. So that's why I ended up using kind of this length trumpets, which I believe are the kind of factory correct original kind of length for this type of carb. And then the other thing I did is, obviously in the throttle, look at the return. It's got a very good return. In the throttle, what I did, I put a throttle that you can put a kind of like a button there, and you can then actuate it from here, or you can join it with another carb. I mean, that's at the kind of at the behest of the customer, I guess, if you wanna. But this carb would work paired up with another one, or it will work on a standalone basis. So that kind of, I leave it up to the customer to decide which is which. But then again, this is a carb that has been completely reconstructed, kind of back to factory spec, and with all the, obviously this needs adjusting a bit, but all the seals and whatnot have been kind of completely redone. So you're looking here at a kind of pretty much a slightly ratty restoration, but it's all of the bits inside are absolutely pristine, clean. And this carb is ready to kind of hit the road, either paired up with another one or just on its own. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I mean, unfortunately we couldn't make 2 carbs, as was my initial kind of idea, but unfortunately it didn't work out that way. Sometimes it doesn't, you know, what are you gonna do? But we did manage to actually make this carb kind of live again properly, and that's obviously something that motivates me and kind of keeps me going. So, and that's it for this week's episode. And if you've got any comments, questions, put it down in the comments, and if not, I'll see you in the next episode.